Breaking today news right here on Switch TV. My name is Lincoln Mbogwa. Our sign language interpreter is Michael Maithia. We have a lot in line for you tonight, but first, the headlines. Chaos as rowdy youth disrupt RAILA'S BBI rally in Githurai. Kenya upholds a long-standing commitment to regional peace and security after an ailing relationship between Kenya and Somalia. And the Singapore Zoo welcomes a lion cub named Simba to its animal kingdom following artificial insemination that was the first for the city-state. We are live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. On YouTube, we are live as Switch TV News. Send in your feedback to our SMS line 111 and at Switch TV Kenya and at Lincoln Wambogo. Kenya has been vindicated of all allegations leveled against it regarding its hostile relationship with Somalia. This is in accordance with the report of the fact-finding mission established by the President of Djibouti, His Excellency Ismail Omar, on behalf of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development (IGAD). The Kenya-Somali tiff has been ongoing for months, leading to the call for investigations into the matter by IGAD, where Kenya has been accused of interfering with Somalia's internal affairs. His Excellency Ismail Omar visited both Kenya and Somalia between 9th and 13th January, and it is during his stay in Kenya that he was handed irrefutable evidence of invalidating all allegations against Kenya. This report affirms that all of the allegations are totally unfounded, and more so that the decision made by the federal government of Somalia to sever all diplomatic ties with Kenya was totally uncalled for due to the adverse effects it had on the lives of Somali nationals seeking refuge in Kenya, military operations and economic ties between the two countries. The Kenyan government now welcomes the report and affirms its commitment to fostering peace, prosperity and regional integration in the region, which is in accordance with IGAD's vision for all its member states. Moving on, the BBI drama seems far from over even after the IEBC cleared 1.1 million signatures for the bill to get to the counties. Experts now want to understand how the IEBC managed to verify the signatures without getting original Kenyan identification cards, as the report continues to get backlash from the president's backyard. Namikane Samuel reports.
After the IEBC cleared the BBI signatures for the bill
ODM leader ODINGA'S
for the county assemblies to vote either for or against the document, a legal issue has arisen of how the IEBC managed to verify signatures without using original Kenyan identification cards.
It's not clear now how they verified these signatures. One, verification legally, as I understand it, is I have to have the original document done by somebody, Mr. X, so as to verify the document brought to me against the original authentic document.
Edward Asitiba, a governance expert, claims the BBI has not been sold to Kenyans on a goodwill. With the document receiving a seemingly backlash from the president's backyard, a constitutional drama is set to begin once the document lands in the 47 county assemblies.
But the challenge there is there is already that resentment. You can feel it, you can see it. Count out Rift Valley. Mount Kenya will be 50-50. There is a problem. So, and then the hustler narrative, we can't ignore it. So for me, I see a challenge in this thing passing. Let me tell you the truth.
Ni kitu inafosiwa na serikali na nguvu. Ni kitu tunakataa. Unaona? Hiyo bibi hata ikanda kwetu kama Katondo hivi. Unaona haijafika huko hata Moranga tunaikataa.
It is believed that in Nyanza region, Raila Odinga's backyard, 6 counties will probably support and vote for the BBI. In coastal counties, the 5 counties may vote in support of the BBI as they are seemingly controlled by the Orange Democratic Movement. In Western Kenya, that is Kakamega, Vihiga, Bungoma and Busia, the bill will easily sail through, according to Edward, due to the backing Mudavadi and Wetangula have in the region. However, in Mount Kenya region, it will be a contest as Ruto's Tangatanga wing continues to fire warning shots to the president's camp.
Now when it comes to the referendum level, it's going to be an issue. Because nobody is telling us. All we have now is the blame game, is the hustler. They are not telling people what is in the BBI. Nobody's breaking it down to tell somebody on the street, this is what you stand to benefit. Merely increasing the positions up there.
Venye walianguka Mombasa pia hiyo kiti ndio wataanguka. Tunapatia Ruto 2022. Hata Wakikuyu wote wanapatia Ruto.
The BBI report continues to spark a national debate, with many claiming it is not giving Kenyans real solutions to their problems and that some Kenyans might not give it their attention.
The Building Bridges initiative now heads to the county assemblies, where 24 out of 47 county assemblies will decide if we go for a referendum or not. Namkana Samuel, Switch TV, Westlands, Nairobi.
Thank you, Namkana Samuel. With our story, we now take a short commercial break. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more. Welcome back and thank you for keeping it Switch TV. Send in your feedback to our SMS line 111 and Switch TV Kenya and at Lincoln, Wimbogo. ODM leader Raila Odinga's BBI address in Githurai has been interrupted by a group of youths who were chanting the Deputy President William Ruto's name and his popular slogan, Hustler. As they disrupted the rally, police officers had to intervene to at least calm the situation as they lobbed tear gas canisters to the chaotic crowd. Majibu Kitsao with a report.
Chaos, near combats. This was the scenario today in Githurai after what was planned to be a political rally turned chaotic for Raila Odinga. The ODM leader was in a campaign to popularize the BBI as it heads to the county assemblies after the electoral agency on Tuesday confirmed more than 1 million signatures had been verified to support the bill. The police had to intervene by lobbing tear gas canisters to the rowdy youth who were chanting the deputy president's name and his trendy slogan of Hustler Nation as they threw stones and disrupted the rally. In his address, the ODM leader emphasized on unity as he stated that every Kenyan has a right to live and work anywhere in the country. Majibu Kitsao for Switch TV.
Thank you, Majibu Kitsao. For many people, this year brings a lot of hope in the fight against COVID-19. With a vaccine by AstraZeneca approved by the Ministry of Health in Kenya, public health officials expect to start vaccinations after the arrival of the vaccines in February. Within Africa, the impacts of COVID-19 are being felt in different ways, and the measures being taken by the respective governments have also differed on the areas of focus and comprehensiveness.
As of January 2021, there have been 99,308 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Kenya, with 82,478 recovered patients and 1,734 related deaths. The youth unemployment rate in Africa is 25%, but it's even greater in Botswana, the Republic of Congo, Senegal and South Africa, among others. Africa has the largest population of young people in the world, with 200 million people aged between 15 and 24. This is according to Deloitte. Economic contribution of the air transport industry in Africa is $55.8 billion, supporting 6.2 million jobs and contributing 2.6% of GDP. According to Africa Renewal, these COVID-19 restrictions affect international airlines including Africa's Ethiopian Airlines, Egypt Air, Kenya Airways and South African Airways, among others. The first effects will result in the partial unemployment of airline staff and equipment. Exports and imports of African countries are projected to drop by at least 35% from the level reached in 2019. Thus, the loss in value is estimated at around $270 billion. This is according to Vox EU research-based organization. Tourism, an important sector of economic activity for many countries in Africa, has been heavily affected by COVID-19 with the generalization of travel restrictions, closing off borders and social distancing. Nyakundi Kelvin, Switch TV.
Thank you, Nyakundi Kelvin. Elsewhere, Slovaks aged 15 to 65 can circulate freely with negative COVID-19 tests from Wednesday to at least February 2nd. Slovaks must carry confirmation of a negative PCR or rapid test result when going to work, to the post office or to an e-shop counter.
I don't think those tests are necessary. I think if the lockdown was strict at the right time, these tests would never be needed. I think it's just an obsession of a few people.
Before we could work, we had to send the certificate to our employer and to human resources. For what I hear, other companies are also checking the employees.
We have to adapt. I need to work, so I have to get tested.
Meanwhile, local authorities in Indonesian city of Madiun in Java Island have converted 24 train carriages into emergency medical facilities for COVID-19 patients amid a surge in infection cases. The Southeast Asian country has passed 1 million mark as the government launches one of the world's biggest vaccine drives to clamp down on a soaring infection rate. Take a look.
Indonesia's COVID-19 cases topped the 1 million mark on Tuesday as the archipelago launches one of the world's biggest vaccine drives to clamp down on a soaring infection rate.
We have borrowed these trains to cover Madian City and surroundings. Whenever hospitals and other isolation facilities are full, new patients will be sent here. These train carriages have been well equipped, for examples, beds, medicals, tools, oxygens, everything.
The Southeast Asian nation of nearly 270 million has recorded 1,012,350 virus cases and almost 29,000 deaths, according to official data. But low testing rates means the crisis is believed to be much more severe than those figures suggest.
Today we have seen many patients going from one hospital to another to be treated, but they can't because hospitals are full, not to mention the limited number of available medical workers. So at the moment, borrowing these trains for medical treatment is the only solution.
Some hospitals are on the brink of collapse as they're overwhelmed with patients in one of the Asia's worst hit nation.
Menurut saya itu sebuah solusi di mana saat ini kita tahu ruang isolasi di.
I think this is a solution, especially today we have learned that isolation facilities and hospitals are getting full. With the presence of these emergency medical trains, at least when hospitals are completely full and there are new patients, they still can get medical treatment.
Yang perlu perawatan itu masih bisa difasilitasi di emergency medical train. Berharap semoga jangan sampai ada warga.
But I do personally hope that no one, especially from this city, will be treated at those trains. So enough patients, no more surge in number of infected patients.
Warga ataupun juga pasien yang diisolasi sampai saat ini tidak ada penambahan lagi, harapannya seperti itu.
There are reports of patients being unable to access intensive care units and isolation rooms due to high demand, a shortage underscored by an East to Java cities moved to outfit a train carriage to accommodate the sick. The virus has killed more than 600 doctors, nurses, and other medical workers, many outfitted with limited protection equipment, according to the independent research.
Thank you, Harriet Chimeo. And other stories. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, on Tuesday published its latest economic growth projections for 2021 and 2022 in a quarterly update to the World Economic Outlook, WEO. The table shows GDP growth forecast in percentages with a change from the October WEO in parentheses. Though optimistic, the Washington-based crisis lender wants the report is bested by a certainty, urging governments to continue to act to prevent lasting damage after the COVID-19 caused the worst peacetime economic crisis since the Great Depression. David Kagina with his story.
According to the International Monetary Fund, the global economy is expected to see a strong rebound this year, but coronavirus crisis is causing severe damage, slashing tens of trillions of dollars of gross domestic product.
We are living in highly uncertain times. We are projecting the world would grow this year as opposed to a severe collapse last year, but there is uncertainty. A lot depends upon the outcome of this race between a mutating virus and vaccines and how much policy support can hold up. And what we are seeing is divergence in prospects across countries.
Optimism that new vaccines will bring the pandemic under control and allow economic activity to resume, coupled with stimulus in major economies, has boosted the IMF's growth forecast this year to 5.5%. according to its latest World Economic Outlook.
If vaccines and therapies were to remain effective against the virus, we may be able to exit this crisis with less scarring than was feared and arrest the divergence in prospects that we now see across and within countries. However, that's not guaranteed unless we put in have more determined policy action.
However, the Washington-based crisis lender warned the outlook is beset by extraordinary uncertainty and governments will need to continue to act to prevent lasting damages after COVID-19 caused the worst peacetime economic crisis since the Great Depression.
Firstly, all countries must accelerate the rollout of vaccinations. The international community must act quickly to make sure that vaccinations and the logistics of delivery of those vaccinations is available globally to address what is currently a deeply inequitous distribution of access to vaccines across the world.
According to the report, the upgrade in growth after the 3.5% worldwide contraction in 2020 reflects expectations of a vaccine-powered strengthening of activity later in the year and additional policy support in a few large economies, including the United States and Japan. In Europe, however, where governments have ordered new lockdowns and even curfews amid surging cases and more infectious virus strains, the IMF has slashed down growth forecasts. The euro area growth estimate was cut a full point to 4.2%, with significant downgrades for Germany, France, Spain, and Italy. David Kagina, Switch TV.
It's time for business. Good evening. I'm Clifford Ndubi. The Kenya Revenue Authority has won a 9.3 billion tax case against PALEAH Stores Limited in a judgment delivered on 22nd of January 2021 by the Tax Appeals Tribunal. The amount constitutes over 1,361,746,295 shillings over corporation tax and Kenya shillings 7 billion or rather 891,387,842 in value added tax inclusive of interest and penalties. PALEAH Stores Limited had appealed to the tribunal in May 2017 contesting assessment and demand of the taxes by the KRA for the years over income 2008 and 2014. Away from that, Safaricom Foundation has today officially opened a new and improved ICT-enabled skilled centers at the Waithaka Vocational Training Center in Nairobi. The institution was refurbished at a cost over 28 million, including equipping the computer lab with modern ICT equipment as well as placing modern tools in the plumbing, welding, electrical engineering, and food and beverage departments. The other components of the program includes providing scholarships to over 700 students across various TVET institutions in the country.
Today, we can proudly say that we have made Waithaka Technical great again. It is now new, refurbished, remodeled, and it is a big cog in our journey towards changing our constitution.
What we wanted to do with this facility is make it a center of excellence. So we're going to take a lot of learnings in what we have put in here in Waithaka, how it transforms the students who are going to take classes here, and then we can have the opportunity to take this kind of center and have facilities like this throughout the country.
Research has shown this was done by Higher Education Loans Board. We have another research that was done by Treasury. They found out that of all the learners who go into technical training, 95% to 95%.
Let's move away from that. And before the pandemic, the occupancy levels at city apartments were high until tenants were forced to move out in a cost-cutting move, dropping the leasing percentage to an average of 30% in both residential and commercial spaces. With the new year, the country expects recovery, but how long is the real estate industry going to take before it heals? John Kutuni spoke to an economist, Abraham Uthogo, and this is his insight.
As a result of the economic disruptions caused by the COVID-19, the rental market was at its lowest during 2020.
When you talk about the high end, you'd be talking about anything between 20 and 50%. But as you go towards the middle and lower, it will be lower, maybe around 30%. So, but I think on average, it would range around 30, 40 on average.
Landlords owning residential properties are now struggling with filling empty apartments, but owners of the office spaces might take longer to recover due to remote working.
Several things will happen. Number one is that people, because of what has hit people, they have learned to live differently. And even when their income comes back, they may want to ask themselves whether they really want to go back to living the way they were living. That's on the residential side. On the commercial side, there's this concept of working from home. A lot of companies have taken that thing so seriously that we have many companies where employees have not come for 12 months. So they're asking themselves the question of whether they want to continue paying for that space, for this desk. So we may see a recession in terms of the space that companies want to take. And that will have a long-term impact on whether people want to continue putting up commercial space. Because if you have 200 staff and 100 of them can stay home, then you probably need half the space you occupy. And if that trend goes everywhere, then you can see the demand for commercial space will really be on the downside.
The housing market is in crutches and we can't really tell when it will recover, but projections show that the sector might heal by 2023. Some real estate experts will tell you it is a good idea to invest in real estate. However, it can only be if you're looking for long-term benefits. Reporting for Switch TV, my name is Joan Kutuny.
Estate sector to some technology news, where the government through the Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs in collaboration with the South Korean government has launched a feasibility study for the KONZA Digital Media City DMC project that is being implemented at the KONZA Technopolis with the support of the Korean Exim Bank. This follows the successful implementation of a pre-feasibility study of the project which was completed in August 2019. The program is being implemented by the KONZA Technopolis Development Authority with the financial support from the South Korean government through the Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency. This is under the knowledge sharing program that was launched in 2018, a platform for development cooperation by Korea, aiming to share knowledge with partner countries and develop a solid foundation for expansion of economic and political cooperation. And finally, the Singapore Zoo has welcomed a lion cub named Simba to its animal kingdom following artificial insemination that was first for the city-state. It is rare for lions to be conceived through artificial insemination, with the procedure first carried out successfully in 2018, resulting in 2 cubs in South Africa. Lion population in the wild have plummeted more than 40% over the past 2 decades, with about 23,000 to 39,000 mature animals left, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature. It lists lion as vulnerable. Sorry from Singapore. Singapore brings us to the end of our broadcast business news this evening. Up next is sports news. The CHAN competition, the English Premier League, is up and running today. There's some news about golf, but all that will be coming up to you in a short while by Lincoln Wambugu.
Thank you, Clifford Derby. Thika Sports Club will have the privilege of hosting the opening round of the all-new NCBA Golf Series on January 30th. The 20-leg all-year-round amateur series will traverse several golf clubs across the country, culminating with a grand finale at Curran Country Club on 3rd December 2021. As part of the bank's noble initiative of supporting young budding talent, the main series will run alongside the NCBA Junior Golf Series.
With a greater number of golfing customers, and therefore it is for this reason we are introducing an all-year-round amateur competition across various clubs.
At the union, working, we know that the future of the game is in junior golf, because this is where we are going to get skills which can match any other internationally. We at the union are also working on expanding the space by laying an infrastructure to make sure that golf does not only live in golf clubs.
Now we'll be traversing so many counties where we want to interact with our customers and also interact with the golfers as we do along. So thank you very much, and for your support, especially for junior golf.
So Rwanda qualified for the quarter-finals of the ongoing African Nations Championship in Cameroon after coming from behind twice to beat Togo by 3-2. Togo had taken the lead in the 38th minute through Yendutai Nane, but Rwanda responded through Olivier Niyonzima just before half-time. Bilal Akoro put Togo in front again in the 58th minute, only for Tuyisinge to equalize for Rwanda shortly after 2 minutes. Abdul Mubarak scored the winner for Rwanda in the 66th minute to help the Amavumbis finish second in Group C. Moving on, Uganda Cranes beat the competition farewell after finishing bottom of Group C with a single point following a 5-2 thrashing by Morocco. Ibrahim Orit opened the score sheet in the 25th minute for Uganda before El Kabi equalized in the added time of first half from the sport. Rahimi added a second for Morocco in the 51st minute and added another in the 80th minute. Kiekune pulled one back for Uganda in the 88th minute before Lukwago scored the fifth for Morocco in extra time.